Hello, happiest of folks. I hope you guys are having just an absolutely amazing and awesome day today. One of the best you've ever had, and if not, by the time this day is over with, I hope it will be, or at least the top 10 already. So for today on Friday, I typically do top 10s of various things. I started off doing a lot of different top 10 films, like top 10 science fiction films, various eras, top 10 horror films, top 10 fantasy films. I also did superhero films, top 10 action films, that sort of thing, top 10 independent films, and then top 10 foreign language films. And then I also did a lot of more recent things because I ran out of it. I did my top 10 board games, I did my top 10 musical artists and albums, and then I just finished 3 top 10s on the comics, and then miniseries, and then writers for you folks. And so I thought it would be fun to head back to the films and such. And so what I'm going to be doing today is ranking the 11 theatrically released Star Wars films that I've seen. I haven't seen the one that is like Clone Wars, the animated one. That was very short. Again, they have to be theatrical. They cannot be something like, the holiday specials or the Ewok ones. I have seen the holiday special once on YouTube, but I wouldn't consider that because it's a theatrical. I haven't seen the Ewok ones at all. All right, so here we go. Let's go ahead and get started with number 11 for you folks. And this is The Rise of Skywalker from 2019. When I saw it in theaters, I was like, ugh. This is Star Wars, the fan service one, and so forth, rather than having an actual proper one. Right? What happens? There's no character development. There's no character beats. Nothing happens that's good. It's just a fan service thing, and not even a particularly good fan service one, right? And that sort of thing. So that's The Rise of Skywalker from 2019. All right, now number 10 is The Phantom Menace. It's the first one, episode 1 from 99. It was horrible too. I love Jar Jar, and there's also some stuff with him, with some of the other things in there too, like Watto, Anakin's slave master. And that sort of a thing that feel a little characteristics and stereotypes too that didn't fit me well at the time, and going back either. The only thing I do like about this film is that the action scenes with the Jedi is good, but the rest of the ones, like the sieges and stuff on Naboo, weren't exactly strong. So alright, so I just don't go back and watch this generally. Alright, so now top 9 time. Now from here on up, the films are fine. I don't mind watching them. I'll go back and see them every now and then. Alright, so here is number 8, is 2018's Solo, Star Wars film. From here on out, they are much better, like I said. I think it's a little underrated, but I wouldn't say it's a strong either film. Either. The prequel. Like, it gives you a lot of things that I didn't really want to know or care about, like where's Dice are from, where he gets this iconic jacket, and that sort of thing. I don't really think that's a great thing, and that sort of thing. I didn't think it was a particularly strong story either, but I did like the acting, and that sort of thing. I thought that was great. I thought the cast was also pretty good too. I love the surprise at the end too. I thought it was a great ending. Love it lots. But it was a little bit of a box office disappointment. It was like, wait, what? How did it not get that much money? Oh, that was fun. And that sort of things. I think it's a little underrated at times because I think people think that it was a bit, but I wouldn't say it's. But I wouldn't go to the mattresses for that. All right, so number 8 is The Force Awakens from 2015. If you like this so much, I'm sorry. I watched it in the theaters, and I just was watching this and finished out, and my thoughts were the same on the way out. I was like, this is way too derivative of the original Star Wars. It's like J.J. Abrams was trying to just recapture that feel in a bottle, and that sort of thing. I didn't even feel like it's a particularly strong start either. Sorry if you like it, and that sort of thing. But it just feels a little too much like the original Star Wars. We got rid of the Emperor in the previous one, so now we're going to have a new Empire that's even worse. The First Order, and then have them be rebels again, rather than actually moving the plot along and such. Right? Nope. Right, like they did from episodes 1, 2, and 3 to episodes 4, 5, and 6 when the Emperor takes over, and there's a rebellion going on. All right, I just don't feel like that made sense. There were a lot of great options that would have pushed the story along, right? And that sort of thing. So that's number 8, The Force Awakens from 2015. Now top 7 Number 7 is Return of the Jedi. It's the last ending from 83. It's not the worst ending possible. I can imagine worse. But I wouldn't go to the mattresses for it. I don't think it's great either. It's a bit obvious. The Ewoks feel a little bit overdone for their power level. And that sort of thing. We spend way too much time with the Ewoks and such. And that sort of thing. And so I wouldn't, say it's the best film of all times. Now, number 6 might surprise you being above Return of the Jedi, but it is Return of the Jedi. It's my list too. It's Attack of the Clones from 2002. Amazing combat, love it lots, great stuff. I like the thinkier stuff side of things too, the political side of things too. I like the conversations, the world building is great too. The darker stuff here is happening. I love Count Dooku. I think he's an absolute classic character. Love him lots. And I think it's underrated by films too. Alright, so now top 5 time. Number 5 is Revenge of the Sith from 2005. At the time I saw it in theaters, and everybody was saying, "Oh, it's the good one." Right? It had that reputation. I think it stands up when you go back and watch it, and that sort of thing. It's my favorite conclusion of the 3 trilogies. I don't think it started strong, and that sort of thing, but I think it's the better conclusion to The Last Skywalker or Return of the Jedi. Alright, so I think it's great stuff. Love it lots. Alright, number 4 is The Last Skywalker. Number 4 is The Last Jedi, 2017 rather. Sorry, this film is great. I'm sorry if you don't like it, but it's a great film. It's a great film, right? You just can enjoy it. One of the things I like about Rian Johnson here is that he sort of will push away against some of the sort of expected things in the Skywalker universe, right, and such. I love lots for those reasons. I think he pushes some of the expectations that you have from the first film, like bloodlines and that sort of thing. J.J. Abrams is like, no. And I think he makes big mistakes rewriting that. All right, top 3 time. Number 3 is Rogue One from 2016. It's my favorite Disney film and my favorite prequel. It's also my favorite. It's also a great war film. Like it's outside the Star Wars kingdom. It's not designed to be, since it was after the Jedi Purge in Return of the Sith. I'm sorry, Revenge of the Sith. There are not any Jedi running around. There's some Force-sensitive people, sure, but there are not any Jedi, right? And that sort of thing. I love its actions. I love its casting. I love the scenes. I love what's happening. It's a great film from top to finish. All right, so that's it. All right, now number 2 and number 1. Number 2 is the original 1977 Star Wars put sci-fi on the map, just like Flash Gordon did. That inspired it. It was the first major sci-fi. It was considered for kids, and then it made so much money. It was marketed to adults too, and it put sci-fi on the map in a major way, just like this did. And number 1 is, of course, The Empire Strikes Back from 80. It's the middle one film. It stars all the great people. I love its introductions to folks like Lando Calrissian, Cloud City. All the mercenaries and bounty hunters that he brings in too, like Boba Fett. Right? It's an absolute classic. Love it lots. And that's number 1, The Empire Strikes Back. And I'll go over them again real briefly. Number 11. Is The Rise of Skywalker from 2019. Number 10 is The Phantom Menace from 1999. Number 9 is Solo from 2018. Number 8 is The Force Awakens from 2015. Number 7 is Return of the Jedi from 1983. Number 6 is Attack of the Clones from 2002. Number 5 is Revenge of the Sith from 2005. Number 4 is The Last Jedi from 2017. Number 3 is Rogue One from 2016. Number 2 is Star Wars from 77. And last is The Empire Strikes Back from 80. All right, so those are mine. Again, that's my list, right? It's not your list. I'm sure Star Wars fans are going to not be happy that The Last Jedi is that high. I'm sorry about that, and that sort of thing. But it's my list, right? And such. It's not your list. Now, but what are your top lists? How would you rank the Star Wars theatrical films that I've seen that are not animated or from TV? And that sort of thing. But what would be your list? I'd love to hear from you. Also, as a reminder, I'm not a trained film critic, right? I also don't make movies for fun or anything like that, right? I don't consider this YouTube channel. Make movies for a living, rather, right? I just make this YouTube channel for fun and that sort of thing. So I'm not somebody who has a level of expertise teach, right? I didn't go to film school, I didn't go to critique school, and that sort of thing. So your opinions are just going to be as valid as mine is. So let me know what you thought. Have you seen these? Would you put them in this list? And that sort of thing. Love it lots. Alrighty, and there you are. So if you, as a reminder, like I mentioned earlier, just top 10. I've done tons of top 10, and I've also done my top 10 Godzilla films and that sort of thing. Tomorrow, I dedicate to something I call the Serial Saturday, where I go back and do old movie serials and some TV serials too from the 60s. Doctor Who's for seasons too, that are sort of this forgotten storytelling genres that have definitely influenced us in major ways, like the aforementioned Flash Gordon. Heavily, I've seen that, and heavily impacts my appreciation of Star Wars, right? And that sort of thing. So I think it's great too. So check them out. I have done Flash Gordon. I've also done Buck Rogers. I've done a couple Tarzan once recently. And that sort of thing. Next is I just did the Canadian Mountain versus Atomic Invaders from '53. So next up is, I think it's 39. I don't remember 100%. It's called The Daredevils of the Red Circle tomorrow. And that sort of thing I saw last Saturday for you folks. It's a 12 episodes. It's about 3.5 hours. And that sort of thing. I was hoping that the Daredevils of the Red Circle would be a flying thing and that sort of thing. It was early on, and the pulps are very, very popular then, but it's not. They're actually from a circus, like performers, and that sort of thing that are then bringing into fighting against the good stuff, fighting against evil and organized crime and that sort of thing. Alrighty, so it's slightly different than I was hoping for it to be, but it was still fun. So I'll be doing that, knocked it out too, for you folks, and then also check them out too. Also on Wednesday, I do Video Game Wednesdays for you folks. I like to do other things. A couple of weeks ago, I did Planescape Torment from '99, and then I just did 88's the RPG, the first RPG based on the first edition rules. Pool of Radiance from SSI, the first gold box game too. They put them on a map in a major way. So lots of things. I also posted that a couple of days ago, and then I'm going to go ahead and knock out the Baldur's Gate trilogy, which I haven't posted yet, so that'll be the next 3 days. So if you like that, check it out too. Also on Monday, I like to do reviews of older RPGs like Dungeons and Dragons, war games like BattleTech and that sort of thing. And so I just did B1 through B3 and B4, also previously lost it to Into Back Me in the 70s and 80s, like Keep on the Borderlands by Gary Gygax and that sort of a thing. I've also recently done the top 7 from Gary Gygax in 78 through 80 that were against the Giants in the G1 through 3, and then against the Drowned 2 that introduced them in a massive way, made them super popular and that sort of thing, and then also the Q1 to finish it out. And such. So I also knocked that out too. And now I'm going to be heading back to the basic set after doing the Pool of Radiance 1, Ruins of Adventure, set in the Forgotten Realms, and then we're going to head back to B5. That will be next for you folks. And check it out too if you like that stuff. Alrighty, and then the other 3 days of the week I do 3 reviews of older things that you read, like novels or short stories or even novellas or poems, or even prose poems too, if it's like Clark Ashton Smith, or sometimes a Lovecraft thing here and there too. So if those 7 reviews of older things from you sound like your cup of tea, then welcome to the channel and have a seat. I think you'll enjoy it lots. Alright, so do all the YouTube stuff, like hit the subscribe button, share with your friends, watch my videos, hit the like button, all that sort of stuff. Alrighty. And then check it out for you folks. Please have a seat and do it, but specifically watch and share. Those are the key ways to go to the channel. Alrighty, so there you are. And then, as you can tell from all those older things, it's also the passion of this channel. It's also where its title comes from too. The worst thing about new books. It's a quote by a French philosopher named Jacques Joubert, who said that the worst thing about them was that they kept us from reading the old ones. Right, and it's definitely smaller stuff. Might have forgotten about for you folks. Alrighty, it's also the passion of the channel. It's also where number 1 strength comes to too. Contact strength. In the strengths quest, which is a form of a personality type indicator, kind of like the MBTI and stuff like that. You take a test for it, and which is context. And I get more information, like I mentioned before, Star Wars, Flash Gordon, and that sort of thing. I get a better appreciation from seeing that. And if you do too, I think you'll enjoy it like lots of. All right, and there you are. Thanks again so very, very much for just taking some time out of your day and investing in watching my videos, right? Because we all have so many things, right? They're happening in our lives, and we're pulled in so many different directions. So the fact that you spent this time with me, that's incredibly humbling, and I appreciate it so very, very much. Thanks again, and have an amazing day.